The 37 practices of a Bodhisattva. Currently, we are talking about transforming adversities onto the path. We've already finished the actual practice. Now we're talking about the practice in post-meditation, which then includes two parts. The first one is bringing slander onto the path, and the second part is bringing ingratitude onto the path. Transforming ingratitude onto the path is really difficult. If you were to be really kind to the others, but not receiving the positive feedback, rather the negative feedback, it must be very difficult to bring it onto the path. Then, even if someone for whom I have cared for as dearly as my own child perceives me as an enemy, it is the practice of bodhisattvas to love this one devotedly, just as a mother loves her child sickened by disease. We skipped a shloka, right? Which shloka? Oh, now we are on bringing slander onto the path. Really? Didn't we cover it? Okay, so bringing slander onto the path then. Even if someone amid a crowd of many people reviews one's fault and utter harsh words, it is the practice of bodhisattvas to bow to that one respectfully, with the notion that this is one's spiritual teacher. If someone in the midst of a great and vast gathering of beings announces from a spiritual perspective, you have such and such faults, from a mundane standpoint, you have this and that flaw, and then voices a variety of harsh and extremely negative statements that heap abuse upon us and directly reveal our hidden failings, we will refrain from returning the harm by becoming angry and exposing that person's secret shortcomings in retaliation. This is really difficult. If one were to reveal all of our hidden shortcomings and our faults in various aspects, instead of retaliate that person's harsh words, rather we will, in addition, bow respectfully to that person with the notion that this is our exceedingly kind spiritual teacher. Well, this is really difficult. Such is the manner of practice whereby all bodhisattvas bring slander onto the path. This is what a true practitioner would do. From the way of the bodhisattva, when there are others who despise me, why do I become happy when someone praises me? If there are others who praise me, why do I then become unhappy when someone despises me? Well, it means that if there are people who praise me, then why would I feel sad if others were to despise me? It means that when it comes to praises and slanders, we should not have any of the grasping mind, nor the mind of aversion to it. We shouldn't be extremely happy when we receive praises, nor feel great pain when we hear slanders upon us. Of course, in theory we understand it, but the mind of the mundane beings are difficult to be tamed in such a way. People understand it in theory, but when it is time to implement all those teachings into our daily lives, we probably would feel it's very difficult to do. There was once an old monk who passed away. His name is Sanji Ponso. He usually eats meat, and then there was once a lama told him saying that while Khenpo Tsotrem Lodro said that it is better for you not to eat meat. well, why don't you become vegetarian? He said that, well, if I am Khenpo Tsochim Lodro, then I would be vegetarian, but I'm not him. So Jontunpa and over here, Jontunpa, Atisha, and Shantideva, they are definitely practicing this very well. It is taught that it is senseless to feel delighted when praised and upset when defamed. More from the way of the Bodhisattva, if he is not there, it does not occur. If he is present, it comes to be. Since this enemy is the cause of patience, how can I say that he prevents it? Moreover, because of those who, with such aggressive states of mind, my patience does arise. They are indeed the cause for patience, and are therefore worthy of honor in the same way as the sacred Dharma. Someone may, in an aggressive state of mind, create situations extremely difficult to be tolerated by when it comes to revealing of our hidden faults, heaping abuse upon us, and so on. We should then recognize this to be spiritual masters and the supreme oral instruction, and should respectfully repay the kindness of that person. Anger, it is taught, would be inadmissible. Likewise, in the way of the Bodhisattva states, praise and so forth make one distracted and also destroy renunciation. This shows the faults of being attached to praises and so forth. Moreover, therefore, those who remain near me to destroy my praise and the like are truly there protecting me from falling into the lower realms. It means that if one were to be there to destroy your reputation, they're really there to save you, to protecting you. Because if nobody were there to destroy my praises, then all of those kinds of fame can destroy a practitioner, because they would get arrogant. So whenever your fame or whenever your reputation is getting harmed, you need to remember this. At times when people slander you by saying that you steal something, that you're not good at a practice, when someone criticizes you, I really hope you can remember. Otherwise, the Mandimbis are really quite childish. They're no other than children. This shows how those who create an obstacle to one being praised bring an end to the lower realms. Moreover, from Lord Atisha, the supreme spiritual teacher is the one who attacks your hidden flaws. The supreme oral instruction is that which lands directly upon your hidden faults. Enemies, obstacles, sickness, and suffering, those are supreme instructions, the supreme inspirations. And from Shaboka said, I will do nothing but reveal your hidden faults. If you will, then refrain from getting angry, stay here. But if not, leave. So if you can endure that, if you can endure the fact that a teacher would reveal your hidden faults, then you can stay. If you can't, then you can just go away. Can you endure it or not? If you can't, go and leave. When we look at the great masters, especially I think the Zen masters, they're quite similar to the Tibetan practitioners in terms of their actions, at times of taming the disciples and pointing out the nature of mind. I believe the great masters are very similar. But when it comes to mundane beings pretending to be practitioners, of course, that's a completely different topic. And then he said this to all disciples who arrived before him. From Potowa, he said, since we ourselves invited those who declare share our imperfections and failings and completely expose our hidden flaws. We ought not to be hateful, but be instead repay their kindness. Can you remember this? If it can work on you for 2 days even, I would be very happy. Maybe you can test each other out by slander and criticize each other. And then maybe you can jokingly tell others by saying that so and so said some of your feelings to me, and then you can look at the other person's reaction. That's a really good test on their level of practice. From Geshe Chengawa, he explained as for cultivating patience in the manner of master and disciple, if there is no enemy to inflict harm, there will be no patience. Therefore, when others abuse us and so forth, it should be recognized the master who bestows tolerance. Whenever others were to slander you, to criticize you, to talk about your feelings, you should view them in such a way. Out of different karma, there are people on the internet, for example, they would keep on slandering the others. In the extensive biography of Shakyamuni Buddha, it says that the Buddha was born as there was 500 Brahmins for 500 years who kept on slandering the Buddha. At that time, if one were to endure such kinds of slanderings and criticism, then you should practice tolerance. Each and every time you're being slandered, it is an opportunity for you to increase your level of patience. There is a Kempo from our institute who practices on patience, whomsoever and whatsoever others slander him, either in face or on all kinds of platforms, he wouldn't even pay any attention to them, as if he were bitten by a mosquito, even less so than a mosquito. He would do nothing about it. But some Dharma teachers would care so much about their reputation, they would get quite upset when they hear any kinds of negative information about them, because they feel their fame and reputation has been harmed. When we look at such a great Buddha, that is Shakyamuni Buddha, who is the one and only in this world, no one in this world surpasses the Buddha, we're getting lots of slanderings and criticism. Don't even mention about the worldly beings in this lifetime. Without becoming angry, cultivate this with delight and a feeling of gratitude for their kindness, thus thinking of yourself as the student who absorbs patience instead of having aggression towards them.
Sonum dai tamche zubanya tonna ni be jana pashe ananji ranlong chubai chubum sonen droba drula shu